It's LA Visualizers. Come back to another video. No, I haven't changed the intro. No one changed it too. In today's video, we're going to do a sort of first impressions with my Nikon Z52. I've had it for about a month now. I'm still using it out. So here is my Nikon Z52. And this is an APS-C camera from Nikon. And of course it has the flip screen, as you can see right here, which is great. It has a mic jack and a headphone jack. It has USB-C power and a very small micro HDMI port. So there's that. The other thing with this camera is that most Nikon cameras, you will have this part right here that comes out. Instead, they put it on the bottom. So on the bottom here, you only have one card slot, which is the SD card slot right there. And you have one battery. It's this little small battery right here. I will say this battery doesn't really last that long. Like the Z50II doesn't last that long either. So the thing with this is, though, I usually bring something like this with me, which is my small rig VB50. So that way I can top off the battery while it's with me. It doesn't weigh anything, so I don't have to have another spare battery. I literally just plug it in and go that way. So what I noticed about using this camera so far is that, what I do like about this camera, I should rather say, is that it's APS-C, and that means that it fits APS-C lenses and full frame lenses on here. So the only APS-C lens I have that goes with this camera right now is the Viltrox 15mm 1.7 lens. And it's very small and it's very plastic fantastic. So far I do like this lens. I think equivalent on the full frame is between, I think, 30mm, maybe 33.5, something like that. I might put the math here at the bottom, I might not. But so far it's a really good lens. I would say the two things so far that I don't like about it, but this is just being picky, especially for a camera that costs $900, is that it doesn't have any in-body image stabilization. The only stabilization you get with this camera if you have a lens that has stabilization. And right now with the APS-C lenses, there's only, I think, 2 lenses that come with stabilization, and both the lenses are variable apertures, and I'm just not a big fan of variable apertures. I'd rather have an f4 lens, and yeah. So I think one's a power zoom, and I can't remember the other one. I'll put them here at the bottom. But that so far is the only thing I do not like about it. Because I know when I was at the Cunningham Falls and I was walking handheld with it, I wasn't doing the ninja walk like I should have been doing, but anything is just, it's not good. So yeah, I'm hoping that Nikon comes out with some proper zoom out lenses that are a fixed aperture, and that'd be fine. But other than that, like I said, those two things are just picky because I don't think there's a lot of APS-C cameras that have stabilization at this price point. So I know there's probably 2, but I can't really get picky about it because those are my only 2 gripes. But I also didn't get this camera to be a filming camera or anything like that. I basically got to do BTS and to take on short trips with me because it's very small. And that's the other thing I like about this camera, is that even though it's small, the grip is pretty okay. My hand is bunched up, but it still, meets the purpose. The other thing about this camera that's great is that when you put it in selfie mode to take a picture or to vlog, you'll have a countdown, and you can change the countdown. Right now, I got it to the manufacturer setting. I think it's like 3 seconds or 2 seconds. It counts on 3, 2, and it starts recording. Whether in selfie mode, when you're in selfie mode like this, or doing video or photos just like this, it counts down. The other thing about doing it this way too is that it locks all the controls up top. So you have to push the controls on the screen to change anything, which is great too, so you don't inadvertently touch anything up here. The other thing about this camera is that it does in-log internally at 10-bit 422, at 10-bit 420, which is great. So for this little power, I think just a little powerhouse of a camera, especially for a C cam, because you get in-logged in 420, so that is fantastic. It's like so far, I am enjoying using the Nikon Z50 or Z50, however you want to call it. And the biggest thing with this camera, because my Nikon Z8 doesn't have it, is this right here. This is a tally light. It lets you know that you're recording. There's been many a times that I thought I hit the record button and I go back and I haven't recorded anything. And that's not fun, to tell someone to do all that stuff all over again. So I think I'm going to have a proper review of this camera probably by the end of the month. And then I'm still debating if I'm going, I don't want to get it. But I think it's the 12 to 28 or something like that. But it's from 3.5 to 5.6. And that's just a big jump for me. I really don't like that. But if I want the stabilization, I'm going to have to do that though. But so far, usually I'll have this 15mm lens on here. Or the other lens I usually have on here is the Viltrox 35mm, and this makes it basically a 50mm lens. So sometimes on my videos for here, for my talking heads, I usually have the Z52 and this lens right here. Oh, the other thing I have too, because sometimes I will not have a monitor, I will have snap bridge right here, just like this, and I can monitor myself to make sure I'm still in focus and everything looks good, and I don't have to use the monitor, which is also great too. I'm not saying that SnapBridge is the best app, because that app is, to me, very buggy, but to monitor myself to make sure I'm in focus and hit the record button there, it's great because I don't have to get up and hit the record button. I can sit there and just hit the record button right here. And it works on all Z cams, the Z50II, the Z8, the Z6II. It works on all the Z cams. So I think that's all I have right now. Like I said, at the end of the month, I'll have a full-blown review of the Z52, and I will see you tomorrow.